Stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned. We're with the coach, John Brett.
I'm here with the vet, Ian Griffin.
Man, it's a great day today.
It's a great day. It's a week between something.
It is, it is. You know what's coming up, Coach?
Tell me what it is.
It's the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl.
All right. Yes, last week we had the AFC Championships.
Yes.
This week we got the Super Bowl, so we're a weekend.
Yes, my wife actually took $20 from my son.
Really?
Yes.
Who'd he bet?
She bet that Tom Brady would go to the Super Bowl.
And he said Aaron Rodgers was going to?
He said, this was at the first of the season when he went to the Bucs, she said that. And he goes, I bet you $20 he ain't going to Super Bowl, Mom.
I think if I remember correctly, and we have to go back and look, but we did our predictions. We should have looked at that. But I think I said Kansas City, Green Bay.
I said Kansas City, and the team that's going to drive number 10, the damn Dallas Cowboys. It break my heart every year, but I still love them. But
Wow. So what are we doing today?
We're going to cover the Super Bowl. We're going to talk who's going to win that thing.
Absolutely. It's been a great playoff run, actually, for both these teams.
It has.
Super Bowl. It really has. I mean, you're talking about the GOAT and the kid.
Yes.
So we have, this makes no sense. Tom Brady is going to be in his 10th Super Bowl.
10th, and you know what? If you just put everything else aside, he bet on himself this year.
Yeah.
He picked a team and that has the best receiving core he's ever had, and it has a really good defense.
It has a good defense.
A stingy defense. They like to take stuff away. And you know what? He went and bet with it, and that's what they needed. And actually, Coach, it's affecting things now because what just happened, Matthew Stafford just signed, did a trade with the Rams. The Lions did, because the Rams are going, we've been in the Super Bowl with golf, but we couldn't get over the hump. Maybe we need one of them old timers to get us there.
Well, I'll tell you what, one of the greatest things as being a coach is that I liked about the Tom Brady thing is for all these years he had Bill Belichick, which is a tough guy to play for.
Yes.
But he didn't go pick a coach that's going to pat you on the butt.
No, he didn't.
Went pick Bruce Arians, which is another Belichick type, let me tell you something, in your face guy. And so he went there. I mean, what a great thing.
So, and then it ponders the question, Coach, was Belichick all that?
Oh, yeah.
Or was it on Brady's shoulders, or was it a compliment of both?
Well, you have to look at it this way. Do you think Tom Brady could have been in 5 to 10 Super Bowls without Belichick? Do you think Belichick could have been in 5 to 10 Super Bowls without Brady?
I don't think either one would have been there.
I know. And I think Brady would have won a Super Bowl, and I think Belichick would have won a Super Bowl with another quarterback. Now, but together, they went to 9.
Yes.
And you have to think that they're 6-3 in those Super Bowls.
Yeah.
6 rings.
Yeah.
Look at Marino and these great guys that never even got it.
Now, I will say this, though, also. Up until the last one they won, every Super Bowl they won was by field goal. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
That's coaching to me. If you win close games, that's close.
I used to give a friend of mine a hard time. I said, instead of out in front of Foxborough Stadium, there needs to be a statue of not Tom Brady, but the kicker, because he's the one who wins.
Terry.
Yeah, he's the one who wins them all the time,
All right, so let's just do a little quick wrap-up. So we had Packers, Buccaneers, which that was going to be played. I think everybody was thinking snow all week, and the snow didn't really happen.
No.
And Brady was Brady.
Yep.
I mean, we had 3 turnovers?
He did.
Still won the game. How many
won.
quarterbacks do you know in the NFL can have 3 turnovers in a big game and still win?
Now, I've already heard the Packers talk about, hey, we shouldn't have made the call on the field goal. And
Shouldn't have went for it when they had that. They should have kicked the field goal. I mean, extra point.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, is maybe the dude should have ran that ball in, Aaron Rodgers, when he had nothing but wide open spaces. Just throwing it out there for the guy who's always the MVP before the season starts.
Well, what we don't want to hear as a Cowboys fan is problem with the calls, because Dez knows about those kind of calls.
Yeah, well, we heard about that from the Packers fans, and I'm like, dude, y'all got nothing to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
It's about time for y'all to get y'all's fair share of the not having Lady Luck on your side.
All right, so let's flip it to the other side. We had Kansas City.
Yep.
Kansas City and
Buffalo.
And it was different in our house because my wife and daughter were born in Buffalo, from Buffalo.
Yeah.
But my daughter went to school with and is friends with Pat Mahomes. So it was, either one that was going to win was going to be great. But I did not expect Kansas City to dominate like they did.
So, and actually, if it wasn't for the turnover,
Oh,
Buffalo was non-existent, to be honest.
Exactly.
And I think Buffalo's got another year or two. But I also think if you haven't seen anything in the NFL was constant, is you may have another year or two that you're going to hit the prime. But after that, you don't have nothing because the way
Right.
free agency is. But with Buffalo also, I was shocked as well, to be honest, because I thought that they would have played a more formidable game than they did, and they didn't really.
Well, they had the best shot. I mean, they were playing in cold weather, which they
Yeah.
do. They were playing with a quarterback with a hurt toe.
Yeah.
Quarterback just came out of protocol. One of their best receivers wasn't there. 17, I always forget his name, for Kansas City. Either way,
Sammy Watkins.
Watkins wasn't there. I mean, they had their shot.
Yep.
And next thing you know, they're just being blown out. So,
Yeah.
anyway.
And the one thing I liked about Buffalo, besides Cole Beasley's there, is I also like the fact that I like the underdogs or somebody who's been 0-4 in the Super Bowl. I like to see them win a ring. Unless they're the Philadelphia Eagles, they should never wear a ring. But anyway,
But it was cool seeing this week. I saw some interviews with Thurman Thomas, Jim Kelly, Bruce Smith, going back to even Don Beatty, going back to the games 25 years ago with the Cowboys. So it was a great week. So let's get with these picks.
Before we do, I want to talk about Don Beatty. You know what's a shame is he was a decent player, but his most famous play that he ever did was saving Buffalo from being embarrassed to having the biggest blowout in history.
I know, because that's what Michael Irvin said, that he was a star of the game. And when he was in an interview last week talking, it was Michael Irvin, Jim Kelly, and Thurman Thomas were in an interview together on Zoom. And they said, well, the real MVP of the game was really Don Beebe.
Yeah.
And they're like, what are you talking about? He goes, it saved y'all from getting a record against y'all.
Yes, he did. I mean, it's a shame because he was a really good player,
Really
you know, but that's what he's known as.
Yeah,
It's unfortunate.
Look,
Yeah. So the Super Bowl.
All right,
Man.
Super Bowl. Well, I'll tell you this. One of the things I looked at is, as a coach, is offense against defense. I think Kansas City's offense right now, they're ranked number 1.
Mhm.
Number 4 in points, number 1 in yards. Against Tampa Bay's, which is being ranked 9th, but they're 6th or 13th in point and 6th in yards. When I first saw it, I thought, oh God, I thought they were a whole lot closer in ranking. But I do think that Mahomes and them will get their points. It's just can Mathau and that defense with Jones get to Brady, because I believe if they get 1 or 2 turnovers with Brady like Brady's been doing, it won't be the Saints and it won't be Green Bay. They'll capitalize on it, and Mahomes and the Chiefs will win. But it's going to come down to if Brady has a Brady Super Bowl where think about it. Do you think if either team is down by 5, 2 minutes to go, 1 timeout, if Mahomes has the ball or Brady has the ball, do you not think one of those offenses are going to score?
So, I mean, let's just take a look back at when Brady played the Atlanta Falcons. Were they 28 points down?
Yeah.
And in the middle, not even the start, in the middle of the third quarter, and at the first of the third quarter, though, Belichick said, we're just going to run the dang ball and put the defense wear them out. And now they have a running back that can do that with Fournette, and I forgot who the other running back is. So if it came to that, they can slow the pace of the game down pretty quick as long as they keep turning their third downs, and the first downs.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be close up to the half, and then I honestly think that Kansas City is going to win by 2 touchdowns.
Well, if you go by the last 2 years in the playoffs, it's going to be pretty easy to figure out. Tampa Bay will probably come out stronger, and I think it's 4 out of the last 5 playoff games that Kansas City's been behind anywhere between 7 to 10 points pretty quick.
Yeah.
And then I think by halftime they'll bring it back. I truly believe that once we get past halftime, that the experience from last year's game and all these tight games that Kansas City's been in, being behind and being in a big game, they just have so many weapons. If you double Kelsey, you got a problem with Tyreek. If you double him, you got Kelsey and Watkins, and Watkins is going to be back too.
I think that both quarterbacks, there's no doubt they can handle the pressure.
Sure.
They're proving that. So that won't be an issue of looking down the barrel of a couple touchdowns. I just think that it will come down to, at the end of the game, I believe the Chiefs are going to prevail. And I could be wrong because every prediction pretty much other than the Chiefs going to the Super Bowl, all the other predictions I made this year have been flat-ass wrong. So it won't be the first time. And so I do think, except for Wentz being pulled part of the year, I knew he was coming. He came last season.
So give me your prediction, kind of a score prediction.
So if I gave it a score, I think that the Buccaneers will get around 21 to 24 points. Okay? And what I'm going to say is you add 14 to that, so 24 and 14, so 38. I'll make it less. 37-24 is what I'm gonna say.
37-24.
So
I'm not
13
far off on
points.
that. Let me just tell you who I think is going to win. I don't think it's going to be much of a thought around here. Let me probably give my prediction. Big boy Kelsey. I love when he makes a big touchdown and gets that big.
So, what's crazy about Kelsey is we've always had one or two tight ends in the NFL who are super dominant. Back when you had Kellen Winslow, we grew up on Billy Joe Dupree.
Now, we also had, we had 2 Super Bowls with Jay Novacek.
Jay Novacek, you had Tony Gonzalez, you had Jason Witten, all these tight ends. But I really think that Travis Kelce has even changed how the tight end is because he's a big fella, but he's like a wide receiver.
He has his 5 years in a row over 1,000.
Yes.
As a tight end.
He's making wide receiver stats.
Now, you look at this one and say, Mahomes, this is his 3rd year to go to AFC, right? Championship game. And then 2 of those years go to the Super Bowl. But 2 years previous to that, Kelce had a different quarterback and still 1,000. Now, Alex Smith is a good quarterback. But it wasn't just Mahomes, that's his guy. I mean, 2 years prior, he was still over 1,000 yards. So I think Kelce, continuing on like this will be, we thought about it as a Hall of Fame player. But anyway, my prediction on it is 35-27. I think it'll be an 8-point game. The reason I believe that is I think what will happen is it'll be a close game, halftime. I think in the 3rd quarter, it might get a little away from them, maybe 14, 17 points. But I do believe Brady will bring them back within a touchdown. He'll have the ball in his hand, 8 points. There'll be an 8 points difference where he actually needs to go down, score, and get the extra point, or excuse me, the 2-point conversion. And I think Matt Bauer, the defense, will make a play, and it'll be an 8-point game. 35-27, 2 times in a row, back-to-back KFC champs.
I think when it comes to the second half, you'll see Tyreek Hill being more and more important to the game.
Mm-hmm.
Him just standing on the field makes 2 people have to watch him. You can't let him behind you. That's one. And once he gets hit, he's not hard to tackle. It's just you can't get your hands on the poor guy.
I think it's very easy for people not to understand, unless you're in coaching, exactly what it means, the kind of motion that Kansas City does in the backfield. When they send Tyreek and then they run him back around, or they'll send one and then have Kelce sit down and another one comes, you have no idea the pressure that puts on the free safety, the linebackers, all, because they're having to shift. And when you have that much speed, if you get 1 foot over, they're going around you for 20 yards before you even know it. Yeah. It's crazy.
So what the best defense I saw when they put him in motion, especially like around the goal line, they put him in motion. I saw one team, and I forgot who it was, and it was just in the last few weeks. They did it. They only did it for one play, but when they did it good. Is whoever the corner was that was covering Tyreek Hill, when he went in motion, they stopped halfway at the field and they got a fresh set of legs that picked him up on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
But his motion normally takes that one guy out of the way completely.
Yeah.
And that guy went and reset. They only did it for one play. They pointed it out on the screen. It's like that's probably a good idea. The problem is both of them have to be in sync, and both of them have multiple assignments in that.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, Romo last week, the other guy on the AFC game, I don't know who it was, I don't know who it was, the AFC game.
It was Trey and Buck.
Okay. They hit it right on the head. With the first 3 or 4 plays, you'll see if this game's going to be close or not. What they did not do the last 2 weeks against Kansas City, they didn't do it against Gronk, and they didn't do it against anybody else they put on the inside receivers, is they were not hitting those receivers as they're coming off for the tight end. You've got to hit Kelce. Yeah. You've got to hit Gronk immediately. Yeah. Take them off that. They were just letting them run free.
You can't do that.
You can't do that.
You can't do that.
All right.
Yep. So,
a couple questions that we have.
Yes, we got some questions.
So we've been getting some emails from people. So we have 3 questions that we picked this week. We're going to do it really quick so we can move on. But number 1, Coach, they asked us, or excuse me, Vet.
Vet? Yeah.
Vet, my bad.
That's
what
all right.
are you reading?
Well, you know what? Because there's some interesting times, Coach. And I'm going to break out what I'm reading. And I'm reading 1984 by George Orwell.
What is this?
Oh, this is the old man's.
Oh, my God.
So when you're on the airplane and everybody else is asleep, I used to use this a lot. And, man, this is the bomb.
So wife's asleep beside you and you're reading the book.
Yeah, I can read the book.
Okay.
And this here, the Thought Police, Big Brother's Watching You. Is this 1984 or is this 2021? I don't know,
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. So mine's a little bit different. I'm always a JFK assassination guy. I don't know how many. I guarantee you spent over 80, 90 books, JFK assassination or things about it. This is a reporter that knew too much. Her name was
Oh,
Dorothy Killigan, and she was about to break the case open and had some interviews with Ruby, had some interviews with
Yeah.
FBI. She was big in Washington elite, and she was also a New York reporter, Pulitzer Prize at the time. And she supposedly died of a accidental overdose in her apartment as she told her best friend that she was about to blow the case open.
oh,
And she went to New Orleans and talked to people down there where they actually thought there was something going on with the assassination, which there was, and she came up dead. So
nothing's really changed in that side, really.
I'm telling you,
Anything with the Clintons, right?
if you go back and read where the conspiracy started with, they started November 22nd, 1963.
Man.
All right, number 2. Did you start writing your book?
I did.
Oh,
So I am bogged down, Coach, because, you know, I'm a veteran and I'm about in 17 pages. And so I'll write a couple pages of this and I'll write a couple pages of this and shove it toward the back end of the book. It's about the military stuff.
yeah.
And I write about my early childhood. I keep on reverting back to my early childhood saying, I need to add some more stuff in this. I need to add some more stuff in this. But darn, I think I'll have half the book on early childhood before it's all over.
Well, that's the thing is I've started to, and probably 85% of it has to do with early childhood
Yes.
sports in town, early childhood businesses in town and
Yeah.
people. So
I think that lays the foundation.
it does.
I think that's important.
Then, but I still didn't come to the point where you and I kind of met yet. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
before that. All right, last question we're going to go with today is, what's the best advice a parent gave you? Oh my God.
So I'm going to say this, and this was actually after I was in the Army. I was in Germany, only there for a few months, and my ex-wife told me she wanted a divorce, and I called my mom, and it was getting close to Christmas time, and I couldn't understand why, and she goes, Ian, just don't let it interfere with your work your butt off,
Mm.
because it's the only thing you have right now, and you need to gravitate to that. And that was probably the best advice she gave me. And it set my foundation for my military career, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I wound up staying with that lady for another 7-something years. But that was the best advice my mom had given me, was that right there, was
Yeah.
stick to
That's
this.
just,
Yeah.
well, mine would be a little bit more humorous because my dad, if anybody knows my dad, everything was humorous with him. He's been gone now, gosh, 12 and a half years. It doesn't seem like that, but I don't know. One time I was going through some stuff. He says, son, you haven't figured out this whole marriage thing. Let me help you. Let me just give you a little bit of advice. Just do this. You'll be fine. And I said, okay. He goes, so you got to remember, you can't be right and you can't be happy. You can't be both. You got to pick one. So you want to be happy, you got to be wrong, or you want to be right and you want to be single. You got to figure it out. So John Bachman, that's what he
So true.
All right, so Super Bowl, we're looking at somewhere between a touchdown, 2-touchdown win for Kansas City.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. I can't wait for next weekend. The only bad thing about next weekend is what? 5 months with no football.
At 5 months.
I hate it every
We're
year.
going to get into free agency and everybody buying quarterbacks all of a sudden. You know.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah. So, Coach, I think this is pretty good.
It was fun.
Yes. So from the coach,
To the bed.
stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned.